Hi guys and girls, I'm Obsidian Ant and welcome back to Elite Dangerous. Today we've finally got access to the Type 10 Defender. That's right, the new ship was released today and it is available throughout the galaxy. I've picked it up here from Shinrarta Dezhra, the Founder's World, where you can get it for a rather nice discount if you've got the permit to access the system. However, it is available at other locations. Now you can see here it's 109 million credits and you're going to need around about another 300 million or so to reasonably outfit this. Now if you're strapped for cash, then I highly recommend you go over to Yemix's channel and watch his passenger mission video. I'll link that in the video description below. But basically that will get you a few hundred million in relatively short time and then you'll be back here purchasing the large ships. Now this video isn't a fully comprehensive review of the Type 10. You'll be able to find a number of other YouTubers out there that are going to do that. Instead, what we're going to do is have a first look at the ship. So basically a look at the stats, a look at how we can outfit it, and then we'll go and try it against some Thargoids just to see how reasonably it performs. So here I A-rated everything. We've got 4 AX large multi-cannons for the anti-Xeno weaponry. We've got a Xeno scanner as well. I fitted some military armour. And the ship takes, or at least I put in, a 6A power plant. Now it does take up to an 8A. That seems a little bit excessive for what we're going to need. You can fit some 7A thrusters, which is pretty good for manoeuvrability, although it's a bit of an old cow and still moves fairly slow. Now what's pretty interesting about this ship is that you can also fit a 7A FSD. And I'm sure once that's engineered, you're going to be able to use this for a reasonable jump distance. Maybe it's going to be a good alternative for an exploration ship, and that's something I'll be looking at a bit closer in a future video. Now, one of the most problematic limitations with the ship so far is the power distributor. Unfortunately, the largest one you can fit in here is a 6A, and of course that means it's going to give you some limitations on the types of weapons you can outfit here. But do keep in mind that first and foremost, the Type 10 is an anti-Thargoid ship, and that really means you're not going to be using energy weapons with it, but you will be wanting to hull tank. And thankfully the armour is pretty good. Now you can see we're close here to 5,000 points on the armour, and that's without any modifications on the armour itself. It's just the default military grade composite. But I do have a bunch of hull reinforcements here, and those are modified with grade 5 heavy duty. Shields are also underperforming with my Type 10 outfit, only using grade 7 byweaves here, and it can actually accept grade 8, which I'll be fitting at a later date. But at any rate, even though it's slightly underperforming here and it's far from an optimized engineered ship, nonetheless we're going to have a look at how well it performs. Now you'll see straight away that the larger hardpoint placements are very well positioned. It basically means when using turreted weapons that the Thargoid can't really get out of your sight as long as you're reasonably good at facing towards the target. Now unfortunately, even with class 7A thrusters on board that are modified with grade 5 dirty drive, the ship still turns very slowly. Better of course than the default version, but nonetheless still not as fast as I'd like or as fast as I'm used to. And that did cause me a few problems throughout the fight, as I've got used to fighting in the Anaconda when it comes to Thargoids. That said, however, if you are coming out here to fight the aliens, then you're going to find that the Type 10 a little bit easier because it's much better at absorbing damage. And as you saw just now, the ship has quite a reasonable amount of armour on it. And keep in mind, like I say, the hull armour itself is still completely unengineered, so there's room for improvement for sure. Now one problem I did have with the Type 10, at least when it comes to fighting Thargoids, is that I've developed a tactic whereby when you take out a heart and the shields come up, I usually turn around and run away until the shields come down. And that allows you to basically evade caustic damage, and it allows you to evade the shutdown thing, which I've got caught with here. Unfortunately, the Type 10 just isn't fast enough to maintain that tactic. And this means that you're going to need some additional weapons to deal with the Thargoid shields. It also means that you're going to need the anti-shutdown device, which I've never used at this point and never had the need to. Now you can see here that I'm taking caustic damage. I've been hit with the missiles, and this is slowly eating away at the hull. Players have now discovered though that you can deal with this by simply overheating your ship. As the heat in your ship starts to build up, eventually it will cause the caustic damage to get burnt off. There's a number of ways you can overheat your ship, but the most reliable one, and probably the most effective one, is to just go into silent running. Now this was my first fight with a Thargoid in the Type 10, and it didn't go particularly fantastically well. I've got to the point with the Anaconda now where I can defeat the Cyclops pretty much without breaking a sweat, but the Type 10 is going to take a little bit of getting used to. That said, if you're a player who's never taken on a Thargoid yet, or if you haven't successfully been able to defeat one, then I think the Type 10 is probably going to be the best option for you. And that's primarily because of the sheer amount of armor it's got. It's very capable of taking a lot of punishment. On top of that, the hardpoint placements are perfect for the job at hand. So then, the Type 10 has been a long time coming, but it certainly is a very good anti-Thargoid ship. How it fares when it comes to PvP and PvE is a completely different matter, and I'm sure some other people will be around to tell you that very soon. As for the look of the ship, well, I've always liked the Type 9, so the Type 10 is pretty good for me, but that's spoiler. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys and girls next time.